neighborhoods. And it doesn't matter if you are from Nutbush or Collierville, if you are from Soulsville or Central Gardens, people have great affinity to their neighborhoods. There, in fact, is someone in my neighborhood that literally has a flag in front of their house that says 38104. I've lived in 8 cities. I've never seen that before in my life. All right? That is pride. And then finally, I started to learn there's this Nashville thing. I didn't know there was a Nashville thing before I got here, but there's this Nashville thing. And when you ask Memphians where they want to live, they pick Nashville. Breaks my heart, but they do. But after Nashville, they would still rather live in Memphis before they would live in Atlanta, or New Orleans, or St. Louis, or a bunch of other cities, which is really interesting. So, we have a real opportunity here. We also have a real opportunity with one more audience, and you heard me use that M word, right? Multicultural millennials. This group in particular is really important to us. Here's why. Millennials are officially the largest living generation. They have tremendous spending power, projected to be $1.4 trillion in the next year and a half. They travel more than any other generation for both business and pleasure, and they spend money while they're doing it. They are also the ones most likely to move. When they do move, they're moving to places like downtowns and midtowns, where there's places like great walkability and whatnot. And then finally, the businesses are following that. We believe that this multicultural millennial audience is really important to Memphis. Last year, Time Magazine reported that Memphis was number 4 in terms of cities where millennials are moving to. Now, we honor this stat, this 9.5 is our own organic growth, but it is also millennials moving to Memphis. In 2016, Memphis ranked 3rd in terms of where millennials were buying homes. That trend continues. And then finally, Memphis is officially a millennial majority city. What you're seeing here is by light blue, by zip code is millennial majority, dark blue is boomer, and are there any Gen Xers in the audience? We don't count, sorry. All right, so, over 50%, 38,103, that's impressive, that is an impressive number. So, both externally and internally, we think this millennial audience has a lot of impact in the future of Memphis. So, what is Memphis? That's really why we're here today, to talk a little bit about that. What is the true essence of Memphis? How do we start to describe it? That is our goal, is that finding the authentic identity of Memphis. So over the years, I've come to know, actually, over the years, we've been known as the world capital of barbecue, the home of the blues, birthplace of rock and roll. We are America's Aerotropolis and distribution center. We are Choose Not Alone. We are all these things. And individually, they are all great. There's no doubt about it. But at its true essence, what is Memphis? That's what we're trying to discover. That's what some of this brand work is really all about. And I tend to think about brands as equal parts character and content. The content of a brand, of who we are, is our DNA. It's the tangible facts, it's the substance of who we are. It is what makes us what we are. It's what we do. And our research tells us that Memphis is a place of dualities, where dualities combine, these opposites combine. We are both individuality and community. We are opportunity and generosity. We are these things where opposites combine. If you had to ask me to put one word on what that is, that word is original. I, in fact, truly believe Memphis, in many ways, is the home of original. And yes, it is our blues, and it is our barbecue, and it is Elvis, and those things are amazing and great, but it is also the fact that we're finding a cure for childhood disease down the street here. It's the fact that ideas have become entire industries here in Memphis. It's the fact that every day people are creating music or food or culture here in Memphis, and the rest of the world is watching. In so many ways, Memphis is original. And then character, how do we bring this to life? What is our voice? What is our swagger? What is the way that we have our brand speak? We got words back like real and fresh and welcoming in our research, but what was the word that really stuck out to us? Soul. I love this word because this word to me is more than just grit and grind. I'm going to make sure I knock everybody's waters over the wall. It's more than just the grit and grind. It's more than the perseverance. It is the warmth, the generosity, the hospitality that we exist by as a community. Soul is much more than that. And then finally, our research told us that Memphis is a place of convergence. It's a place where people come together, where ideas, races, faiths, all mix to do something really interesting and magical. And so I needed to put all of this together in 10 words or less. So I could share that with all of you. And you could share it with others. And oh, by the way, one important point. Those 10 words need to make sure that we weren't just describing what Memphis is today, but rather what Memphis strives to be tomorrow. That is aspirational. It's our North Star. So for us, Memphis is where originality and soul converge, where those two things come together to create change. To create change, because what we believe is not only has Memphis changed Memphis throughout its history, Memphis has changed the world. And oh, by the way, we're not done yet. We're going to keep changing the world. And whether you are an artist or an activist, a scientist, a social worker, no matter who you are or where you come from, Memphis is where you can change yourself, you can change your community, or you can change the world. That is our story. That is the story behind Ellis. That is the story behind our barbecue. That is the story behind St. Jude. That is what makes us unique and as a brand. And in fact, I want to take the opportunity now to take it one step further and read you all what we call brand essence. A little bit of how we would describe Memphis to the rest of the world. It takes soul to find a rhythm that's all your own, to give more than you take and to change the world around you. It takes soul to be a Memphian. Soul has transformed ideas into empires. Soul has defined a new generation of sound. Soul is going to give the world cures. Each of us gives a piece of ourselves to this city in whatever way we can, and that is what makes up our collective soul. Memphis has changed the world. And we're not done yet. We're a city of doers, dreamers, and believers. We create, we invent, we experiment. That's what drives this unstoppable city. We live where originality and soul uniquely come together to create change. Here, along the mighty Mississippi, people and ideas mix to do something magical, to redefine the world around us. Now, a new generation is taking its turn, hungry to make an impact and create change yet again. Welcome to Memphis, our city of soul. Don't forget to bring yours. Bring your soul. Bring the true essence of yourself. Bring your passion. Bring your heart. Bring it is whatever it is that makes you tick, whether it is art or food or science or activism. Bring your soul. That is what Memphis is all about to us. And so, as I mentioned, we do a lot of research. We never shoot from the hip. We wanted to take it one step further. What is this concept of soul? What does that mean to people? Well, we asked them. This is what they told us. To the tune of 97%, people have a very positive affinity or affiliation with this concept of soul. Only 3% of respondents were negative on the concept of soul. More people hate national parks than hate this concept of soul. It's true. National parks was about 7%, I think, of negativity. So, interestingly enough, Memphis, on a national scale and a local scale, is highly connotated with this idea of soul. And soul is, yes, I think the music and the food, but I think we all get to it from different places. It has a very positive affinity. It has equity, as we might say, as a brand. But we actually asked people, well, write in, what does soul mean to you? This is what they told us. We got back words like good, character, heart, feeling, means, people. This is the moment for me where Memphis ceased to become place and Memphis became experience. The power of Memphis is its people. It's all of you. What you do each and every day to create change, that is the true essence and power of Memphis. And in fact, we asked a couple folks the other day to tell us, well, without any pretext, without any context, what does bring your soul mean to you? This is what they told us.
at least me, is like bring everything, bring like your essence, like bring like your history, bring your culture, everything that comes from either who you were as a person and your family, whatever you can contribute to a community.
It's people and places, like learning that you don't have to do this alone, that the way you build a community is together.
You know, bring everything in, right to this point today, it means bring your soul.
Bring your soul means you're come with passion to ignite the city that we love. Love giving back to the city that made me passionate about education in the first place.
Bringing my soul means that I'm a supporting artist doing what they do. I'm here for making sure that artists get paid to make the things that they care about, and that there are people there to be excited about that and into what they're making. And I think that there's a lot of soul in Memphis. I think it's the most soulful place I've really ever lived.
They motivate you to bring your soul, to put your whole heart into what you do. Like you said, let the music take control. That's pretty much it.
For me, to bring my soul means to be me. I was born in Dominican Republic, but raised in Memphis. It just means that I can just thrive in the environment that I'm in, go to all the events that the city has to offer, and hang out with my friends and live life to the fullest.
You know, we bring the good and the bad, bring the happy and the sad, but just bring yourself as you are and share.
So now I'd like to bring up our We're going to keep the conversation going here, and I'm going to now introduce our very esteemed panel. I'm going to start with Emily Callahan, who is the Chief Marketing Officer at Outside St. Jude, that was mentioned. Emily, welcome to the stage. You can give a round of applause. Next up, Ken Dowling. Ken is the Managing Director and leads Young and Rubicon, or Y&R, here in Memphis. The CEO and founder of the Pioneer Theater. Deidre Malone, President and CEO of Carter Malone Group. And of course, Jason Wexler, President of Business Operations for our Memphis Grizzlies. Have a seat, everyone. Man, did you see how late that slide presentation came up? Oh my god. So, you just have to log, guys, and turn on your mics. So, I thought we'd start off with this conversation around brand, and just start to, for the room, talk a little about, well, what is brand, just for a second, and really get underneath kind of how a city brand, in fact, might be different, or alike for that matter, than a corporation or some other area. I wanted to toss that actually out to Ken to start and get your thoughts.
Is this on?
Everybody here?
Great. I'd really like to talk about brands after David showed you what a brand was for 20 minutes.